I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, but you can call me Kevin. What we feared most has finally appeared. Zombies. And my mother-in-law. Now let me get straight to the point. Avoid zombies at all costs. Once bitten by one, you'll be infected by a viral disease known as the final uprising. No kidding. Or, aka, the funk. Once infected, your midbrain will be the first to go, and will be heavily funkified, or damaged. Now, things in the midbrain that will be the first to go. The amygdala, which controls fear processing, will be damaged and will cause a burst in aggression and irritability. The next to go is the hippocampus and temporal lobe. The hippocampus controls early memory storage. With this gone, they will have severe memory impairment, and that's probably why they'll remember how delicious you look and how they'll eat you later, but not how you guys were the best of friends for 18 years. And the temporal lobe, once infected, will cause zombies to have the inability to understand language. After the memory loss comes the involuntary muscle movement, which is caused by the damage to the basal ganglia. Now you're probably wondering why zombies are so hungry all the time. And it's because the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, which regulates hunger, thirst, and sleep, is damaged. And because of this, they'll be awake all the time, looking for food. Now don't be fooled. Just because a zombie's posture and impaired movement makes it look like they're dancing, it's only because the thalamus was affected, which controlled motor and sensory information. So I know I didn't go into very much detail of where each part of the parts I mentioned were in the midbrain, so I'll start here. Here's a recap. The amygdala is located in the deeper part of the midbrain. Secondly, I talked about the hippocampus and the temporal lobe. The hippocampus is located in the deeper part of the midbrain, also in the center, and the part looks like it's a loop, like one of those headphones you wear. And the temporal lobe is located in the lower part of the midbrain. Next is the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is located in the deeper part of the midbrain also, and is on top of the amygdala. Next I talked about the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is located in the center of the midbrain, in both hemispheres, or in between both hemispheres. Lastly, I talked about the thalamus, which is located in the deep part of the midbrain. And that concludes the recap of the midbrain. Now moving on, the midbrain is not the only part that is infected. Of course, the hindbrain will be the second to go, especially since the cerebellum, which is located at the bottom of the hindbrain, is damaged severely. The cerebellum controls motor, learning, balance. Motor learning, balance, reflex, memory, posture, coordination of voluntary movement. With this damage, a zombie will be unable to walk correctly and have slurred speech. And because of their loss of balance, they'll have to stick their arms out like they just don't care. And finally, the forebrain will be affected last. Ever talk to a zombie at a party? Yeah, awkward. Their prefrontal cortex, which controls intelligence and social skills, has been emofied. And because of it, they'll show inappropriate social behavior, like biting your arm. So avoid zombies at all costs, because let me tell you, it's not pretty. Yeah, and here's some steps you can take to avoid and to take down a zombie.
Prince tennis racket, $75. A Spalding basketball to knock down the zombies and ball with them, $55. Clean boxers, $15 for when you're on the run. Realizing it too late that you've become a zombie, priceless. For anything else, there's Massacre.